another episode of the Principal Podcast, and this episode is coming to you at a time when this is one of the busiest times of the year. I am Liz Rayburn, and I am the proud principal of Bryan County Middle High School. We are a 612 campus in Bryan County, and this is our second year as a combo 612 campus. So previous to that, I was the principal of Bryan County Middle School and then took over both schools. So we are definitely a unique campus here at Bryan County Middle High School. But what's not unique is this time of year in principal land and even administrator land for your building-based assistant principals, coordinators, specialists, anybody that you have that is working to support your schoolhouse and your scholars. So this month I really want to dive in what I call the principles of the principal wellness. What is the principal life of wellness? This is the end of the first semester. So many of you, if you are in a high school, maybe on a block schedule, so you're coming to EOC time, you're coming to the time back to scheduling, you're gonna have all new schedules roll out in January. Middle school is halfway point, right? So you probably had some changes in connections classes and your scholars are really rocking and rolling and getting into the groove. But what are you doing as the leader of your school to take care of yourself and to make sure that you are at your very best to support your staff and your scholars and making sure that everything on the boat, you're rowing the boat all in the same direction, because you know we can't pour from an empty cup, right? So for us, and particularly for me, I've kind of framed out 4 different categories that we really think through and reflect on this time of year when we want to stay balanced in this role of being the principal and being in leadership. So the first one is taking care of yourself, right? And how can we do that? We hear a lot about self-care. We hear a lot on social media. If you just get on Twitter and start putting in teacher, take care of yourself, balance, wellness, all of those buzzwords, right? You hear a lot about what that looks like. So what I would say to you are some core principles that have worked for me are time is money. So really plan your days, because when you do proper planning and you plan your days, you're going to get a high return on what you have planned for your time, right? So time is money, and if you want to be committed to a practice that I learned from an amazing former superintendent and principal, he calls it the 7-1-1. That is 7 hours of sleep. 1 day a week you leave when the students leave. When they get on those buses and your campus is clear, you get in your car and you leave. And 1 day of the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, you do no schoolwork. I try to live by that. It is hard. I know it's a challenge. But every week I get up and I try to hold myself to that. But in order to leave when the students leave, right, you have to plan properly. And that's where the time is money comes into play. So if you properly plan your day, you'll be able to commit to leaving one of those days right when the students leave. So those are some good ways to take care of yourself. The other thing that I like to do is a simple breathing pattern. It sounds crazy, but lots of times the breath can kind of revitalize us and help us know and tell our bodies and our central nervous system that everything is okay. We are calm. That's our role as the principal, right? We do not prescribe to panic passing. We are not in a crisis. We want to stay cool, calm, collected. And part of that is doing a breathing technique where you take a big inhale in for 5 seconds, and then you breathe it out for equally the 5 seconds. That tells your whole central nervous system that you are okay, you are relaxed, and it's just a good way to regulate your body in our high stress jobs. Staff. The other part of this, taking care of yourself, is also taking care of your staff. So highly recommend that you plan your incentives for your staff on a yearly basis. I do most of this work in June, I will tell you. I look at the calendar and I plan monthly incentives for our staff way back in June. So I know what I'm doing in August, September, October, November, December, And it helps me also plan with my budget, because a lot of that you have to pay for out of what we call a principal's account, slush fund, Coke money, whatever you call it at your school. A lot of those things that you do for teachers, a woo-woo card or a staff luncheon, you have to pay for out of that money. So it really does benefit us to do that planning in the summer. But it's really great to have those incentive days for staff. So at our school, we do a lot of different incentive days. We do chili cook-offs, we do dip challenges. We try to tie it in to the theme. So for Super Bowl, we'll have a Chex Mix party, and we'll have different Chex Mixes, and we'll have everybody in a cook-off, and we'll do donuts, obviously, and we'll tie that into a theme. So everything is kind of themed out, and we've got something coming up. Actually, this Wednesday, we have what's coming up, a cereal bar. So that is just a simple way to give staff an opportunity to come together in our common planning room. Our strategy room is what we call it. And we're just gonna have a cereal breakfast bar set up. Pretty cheap to do. Get a bunch of cereals, make it seasonal, and then everybody can come in and make a bowl of cereal and then start their day off together. So planning those things for your staff really helps your climate and culture in your building and gives your staff something to look forward to. Also, this time of year, it's really fun to do a 12 days of Christmas with your staff, where you plan out different things. We did a turkey talk and bingo for Thanksgiving. That was another thing that's kind of been something that we've done for the last 7 years. So tons of staff ideas. If you want more of those ideas, hit me up with an email. I'd love to share them with you. We really are focused on that climate and culture piece, but we do a lot of that planning on the back end. When staff is gone home for the summer, I'm thinking about teacher week for the next year, right? So think about what your staff incentives are. Incorporate your wellness into the workday. Make sure that you are always encouraging your staff to go for a walk when they can on their planning. I try to take a walk around the campus every day around 1 to 2, just because that's kind of a common time for me to feel a little bit sluggish. And if I can just get outside and do one lap, that is the beauty of living in South Georgia. This climate's amazing, right? So try to build wellness in to your calendar and have your staff see you do that, so they know that that's also an option for them. And then when you do lunches or breakfast, we just did a staff meeting a few weeks ago, and we had healthy options for those people who don't want to eat maybe the bacon and gravy and sausage biscuits, but maybe they want to do something gluten-free or some fruit. So make sure that you have some options for people who are trying to make more health-conscious choices for your staff. They really will appreciate that. And then your family and friends. You've got to make your time as a principal for your family and friends. You cannot put them off to the second place. We always do. We can't do that. So in my house, we have something called FFF. It's family time. It's forced family fun, right? So I try to, my kids are a little bit older now, so they're not home as much, but when they are home, I definitely make them do things with us as a family unit, because I think that's really important. It makes me feel better about my parenting, makes me feel better about what I'm doing at home with my family, and I think that that's a really important thing. I think it's also critical that you are where your feet are. And if there's no other principal wellness balance advice to take away today, this would be one of the 2 pieces I would take away. Try to be in the moment, be where your feet are. When you're celebrating the birthday, when you're eating the cupcake, when you are watching your daughter play volleyball, be there. Don't be at school. Don't be checking your text messages, checking your email. Try to be where your feet are and be in that moment, because it's going to fulfill you more as a person and as a professional, and it's just going to make you better at being a principal. And the last thing is just your overall school. So we talked about self, staff, family and friends, and the school. Model the golden rule. I definitely think that we want to treat people, and we are the example of our school. So if we are treating people with grace, and we are treating people with kindness as the lead learner of the campus, that's going to emulate throughout your campus, right? So try to have the golden rule at the forefront of how you treat people. Have candy. People love candy, even people that are on diets and fancy exercise programs. Everybody needs some chocolate now and again. So I try to make it a practice here at Bryan County Middle High School that I have candy jars all over the campus, and that's for students too, because everybody feels better when they can just grab a piece of chocolate and just feel like they can get through the day. So we've kind of made that part of our climate and culture here. Music, if you know me, you know that I'm a big music lover. I'd get my jammy pack out right now, but it's over there, you can't see it. But music is my love language. I love it. It is absolutely critical to our day. Lots of cool things you can do with music. You can have your walkout songs. This year we built a playlist. I had all the teachers in pre-planning send me their favorite songs. And so every staff meeting and probably every couple weeks when I feel like bringing those songs back up, I'll play them on the morning announcements, or I'll play them in my jammy pack, and I'll challenge the kids to figure out whose favorite song this was. And so it's a great way to build connections with your scholars. It's a great way. Music just makes everybody feel better, gets them excited for the day, and it is a great thing to do on your campus. So if you don't have a jammy pack, check it out on Amazon. It's $49.99. The best investment I ever made as a principal. And then hugs and high fives. Obviously, we are a 612 campus, so we do a lot of hugs in the middle school. We do a lot of high fives in the high school, and just staying connected to kids. It's just a way that helps communicate that your schoolhouse is safe, it's fun. We're going to come here, we're going to work hard, we're going to learn a lot, but we're going to have fun while we do it. So those are some core principles that I wanted to share with you about the principal life of wellness. All of this is included on an infographic, and there are some that we didn't hit on that if you have any questions about, you can go ahead and email me or check me out on Twitter, MissLiz31. But you've got to know that wellness wins. And if you take care of yourself, we take care of this place, we take care of each other, and we're going to be magic for all of our scholars and our schoolhouses. I can't wait to hear from you. Let me know if you have any great tips and ideas that I can add to my principal life of wellness. I would love to hear some of it. And as always, keep your feet moving. We've got 3 weeks to go or 4 weeks to go until you hit that end of the semester. So make it a great end of semester 1. Bye, y'all.